Hey girl, hey! Welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to see you again. And guess what? It's that time of year again. It's the Sephora VIB Beauty Insider sale event. And this is the time to go ahead and get some discounts on your favorite products that Sephora has to offer. So I'm gonna give you a breakdown of the sale dates for the different levels. And then we're gonna get into a lot of products. I always start this out with like, I'm just gonna be minimal. We're not gonna talk about a lot. And then I start going through my collection and I'm like, oh, we need to talk about this. I can't skip anything, you know? So, okay, let me go ahead and get this rolling. So I wanna make sure I get the dates exactly right for you guys. So I'm gonna be reading them from my phone. Now for Rouge Status members, you're gonna have your sale from April 26th to May 6th, and that's 20% off. Now if you're a VIB, your sale is from May 2nd to May 6th, and that's 15% off. And if you're a beauty insider, your sale is from May 2nd to the 6th, and that's 10% off. So that's all great. You know, I will say that the spring sale usually is not as good as the fall one, but it's a great time to pick up on any of your expensive items that you like or have been wanting to try. I think you get the most benefit out of this if you're a Rouge member, but still, even then, 15 or 10% off is not a bad deal at all. So let's get to talking. We're gonna start with skincare first because I get a lot of comments on my skin and I want to share the love with what I use. I'm not gonna lie, I do use pretty pricey products, but this is the result, so I can't complain. First things first, I'm going to talk about the cleanser that I like to use. I love Drunk Elephant. If you've seen some of my previous videos or skincare stuff, you know. This is the best number 9 jelly cleanser. It is really, really great at night. You can use it with your Clarisonic or your Foreo to just kind of cleanse the face, but it doesn't strip the face. Now it's free of SLS, fragrance, essential oils. So this is also really good for sensitive skin. It just gets the job done. I can't complain. I keep coming back to this guy. Now let's talk about taking off makeup. You guys know on my channel, if you've been watching some of my videos, I love oil cleansers, and I've had quite a few that I've tried over the years, but my recent favorite is the Drunk Elephant. This is their Slay Makeup Melting Butter Cleanser. So it comes with this cute little spoon. It's got a magnet on the back of here, so it just stays right on to that top there. And you've got a little separator here, and this is what it looks like. It doesn't really smell like much. And then here's the thing though, it's amazing at taking off the makeup. You just work it in real well with your fingers. And then personally, what I like to do to cut down on the time that it takes to rinse off is I like to take a warm washcloth that I've kind of like wrung through with water for a bit so it's like soaked, and I just kind of like to gently, you know, take that off. And I feel like when I go in with my Drunk Elephant cleanser afterwards, there's like hardly anything left on my face, which is amazing. So I gotta move through these really quick because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Let's talk about serums. So some of you guys know that I already love this, the TLC Framboise Glycolic Night Serum. This is like the secret to my like minimum texture on my face. I wasn't born this way. I wish. It's just my glycolic serum, okay? But I discovered this about 2 to 3 years ago, and I've been on it ever since. And I was actually looking at old Instagram photos, and I was shocked at how much texture I had all over my forehead, my cheeks, my chin, you know, and it really has made a difference. So I keep coming back to this even when I want to try other stuff. It just suits my skin so well. Now this is a high-tech AHA and BHA gel, so it resurfaces dull, congested skin. So if you have sensitive skin like me and you can't afford to be like physically exfoliating your skin all the time because it will irritate it, having a glycolic serum like this is a really great way to get that done, to make sure you have that nice luminous skin. So we have another Drunk Elephant product. I'm just gonna say this, I have my brands that I love because they work for my skin really well. So you're gonna see repeats of different brands, but that's just because their products are bomb. I mean, I speak the truth. The next one is going to be the Vitamin C Day Serum. This is also from Drunk Elephant. It's got 15% L-ascorbic acid. If you guys don't know, L-ascorbic acid is the most stable form of vitamin C. So you really want to make sure that you're purchasing products that have stable components to them, because if they aren't stable, when you apply them to your face, you know, various chemical reactions can occur that will actually accelerate aging, because the product of these reactions are free radicals, which accelerate aging. So that's not good. So if you're gonna have a vitamin C serum, you wanna make sure it has L-ascorbic acid. This one is bomb. It also has ferulic acid and a chronopeptide mix. So you've got really, really great stuff that helps to resurface the skin as well, kind of diminish any appearance of some UV photo damage that you might have had previously. Even if you're deeper skin toned, you can't have that. So it gives you a more youthful glow. So another alternative for glycolic acid serums that I use when I'm not using my Drunk Elephant one. This one is from Farmacy Beauty. This is the Honeymoon Glow Serum. It's also an AHA/BHA serum. Now this one is 14%. So if you don't use glycolic acid a lot, you probably don't want to go straight for this one because it packs a wallop. Like even for me, I can only use it once or twice a week and it really does work. But like I said, it just can't be used every night because that's like torture for your skin. It is really good, and it is, compared to the Drunk Elephant one, slightly more affordable, but still expensive, but hey, it gives you those results. Now we're gonna move on to moisturizers. I love myself moisturized skin. Now I am oily combination, so I walk a fine line, right? I want to be moisturized but not greasy. So my favorite moisturizer during the day currently is the Drunk Elephant Proteiny Polypeptide Cream, and this is really nice. If you ever tried the Lala whipped cream, that one's like more of a heavier texture, so if you have oily skin, not so good, but this one's lighter and it sinks into the skin. It plays really well with makeup and other primers. It doesn't cause any pilling up or anything like that. Now this one is for all my ladies who like to go to bed with sleeping masks and wake up with baby soft skin in the morning. This is the Fresh Beauty Rose Deep Hydration Sleeping Mask. And if you watch my favorites video, I showed you guys this. It's basically a two-step system here, and you've got one side is a gel. It's like a gel essence, and the next side is a water cream sleeping mask. They both go on very, very light. These are not thick formulas. They seep into the skin. Your skin just feels like moisturized, and when you wake up in the morning, it's just like a baby's bottom. Like, I want my skin to feel like that 24 hours a day. It's so good. I will say I don't know if this is really good for like the summer, because summer's around the corner, but for those of you guys that also have especially dry skin, you can definitely use this during the summer. Now I want to switch gears and I want to talk to you about a couple of perfumes that I really, really love. And I usually don't talk about these on my channel, but oh my gosh, I have two. And the first one, this is Viva La Juicy by Juicy Couture, and if you're like a perfume nut, you probably already know this is like old news, but like, when I smell this, this is like sexy, young, flirty. Like, that's the vibe that it gives me. I'm terrible at describing like perfume notes, so I'll probably just like put some stuff up here so you can get the gist of this, but I love this. I've had a smaller size and I like purchased a bigger size. It's just so like scrumptious. And the next one to me just embodies like sultriness when you smell it. Like, I'm coming through, I'm sexy, I'm sassy. Watch your man, cause he might smell me and go crazy. And this is the YSL Black Opium, another really popular scent, and every chance like I'm going somewhere worthwhile, I just spritz this on me and it just I swear it like intensifies your silchiness like the second you put it on. It smells that good. I wish they made like a lotion out of this. I would totally, like a hand lotion, I would totally buy this. Okay, so now for primers. I'm a big lover of skin blurring primers, and I think the best ones are at the mid-tier to higher end category. For me, I find a lot of my favorite mattifying primers are mostly drugstore, so that's why you're not gonna see that in this video. Now, the first one is the In Sol No Poreblem primer. Really good for filling in fine lines, pores, and then the makeup goes on and it just slides on. It just looks gorgeous. I don't think I would recommend this for my oily girls for the summer, just because you're gonna sweat and this is not a mattifying primer. But keep in mind, you can also combine primers. If you're oily combination like me, you can put this on your normal areas and then use a mattifying primer for your oily areas. In the same category as the blurring is the Farmacy Skin Tune Blur. I've been talking about it, using it a lot, and I just like, I'm like addicted to it. That's kind of bad. I never thought I'd be addicted to a primer, but this one is just so good. I'm wearing it today. It gives me that like flawless Barbie snatched skin. I have not used it during the summer, so we're gonna see. Probably most likely what I'll do is I'll put a mattifying primer underneath and then put this one on top so that the oils can kind of not seep through, you know what I mean? But I still get that glossy, like space tune in real life look, you know? And next up is everybody's favorite. This is the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. Okay, this is just, it's so good. It intensifies your pigment in your foundation and your concealer, so it makes it look more full coverage, so you can make a lighter coverage foundation look probably medium coverage. It also fills in any pores, any fine lines. It looks like once you put the foundation on, it looks so good. Now, I do want to say this, when you first start patting it in, you want to pat it, not rub it into your skin. You're gonna look, if you have deeper complexion, you're gonna look a little wild, a little crazy, a little, you know, ghostly. But don't worry, that does not last once you put the foundation on. It's just kind of in that interim phase that you look crazy. But I would highly recommend it. A little bit goes a long way. And I mean, I've kind of hit pan, barely hit pan, but I still have a lot left, and I purchased this, I want to say this time last year. Obviously that's not everyday use because it's like a really good primer, you know? I don't want to like waste it, so I use it when I really want my skin to look super flawless. So in that same category of skin prep, I think everybody needs a really good under eye moisturizer, and the one that I've really been loving so far is the Ole Henriksen. This is the Banana Bright Eye Cream. It just moisturizes everything. It prevents creasing, which is something that I need help with like a lot, and it's like my under eyes look pretty moisturized today, which is not usually the case, so I really like it. A little bit goes a long way, so you know, you're really gonna get a lot of uses out of this. Now this right here, this is my ride or die. Okay, I love the Laneige Water Sleeping Lip Mask. It's bomb. Okay, I have really dry lips. Like, it doesn't matter, I could drink 3 liters of water a day, my lips still get dry, and I've tried everything. And this is the only thing that keeps my lips consistently moisturized, not just like covers it up with like a layer of goop, you know, like for example how Vaseline will do. It actually like moisturizes it. When I also use a lip scrub and then put this on top, oh my god, it's just, that's like the best combination. It really got my lips through this harsh winter, because if you don't know, I live in Vermont and winter here lasts a full 7 months, and and it's very, very intense. Okay, so last in the skin prep category is this by Fresh Beauty. This is the Vitamin Nectar Antioxidant Glow Water. This is so good. Like, it's a good facial mist. Really good for applying to your face before you put your foundation on, or just kind of like to give your skin a little bit more moisture, you know what I mean? Make it look a little bit more refreshed. You can also use this in between your powder steps to kind of bring your face back so it's not too matte where you look kind of cakey, you know what I mean? You can use this on flights to like rejuvenate your face. There are so many uses. I actually feel like once I spritz this on, the moisture lasts longer than like 10 to 15 minutes, because some sprays will do that to you. It'll make you look, you know, super rejuvenated for like 10, 20 minutes, half an hour, and then later on you're like, wait a second, why is my skin dry again? But I feel like this one, it really like lasts, you know? Okay, so let's move on to foundations. I really tried not to go too crazy with the foundations, because if I go through my collection, I'm like, ooh, this, you know? But I wanted to stick to the ones that I've been reaching for the most. I will preface it with this. I've been loving a lot of drugstore foundations lately, but the high-end or mid-tier foundations that I like are really good. I keep going back to them for longer than like 6 months, like a year, you know? Okay, so the first one is more of a winter foundation for me, but I know for my girls that are normal to dry skin, you're gonna really like it for the summer as well. This is the NARS Natural Radiant Foundation. The shade that I use is Macao, and this is slightly lighter than my current color. That's why I said it's like winter. But oh my God, this is like flawless, like Photoshop skin in a bottle. It's ridiculous. The only thing is I wish they had like a more matte version of this for summer for me, because it's just not gonna hold up in the humidity. But it's still a really good foundation. If you guys haven't tried this, you can go to Sephora. You can either try it at the VIB sale, or you can just get yourself a sample and see how your skin responds to it. All right, so this one is like one of my favorites. I have a special place in my heart for this foundation. This is the Smashbox Studio Skin 15-Hour Wear Hydrating Foundation. You know, I feel like the name is very misleading because it says hydrating, but it's actually a matte foundation. It will not budge. You can sweat. The shade that I have here is 4.05, and this is not my current skin color, but you know, when I get a little bit deeper, you know, it'll go really nicely. But one of my favorites for like hot weather, humid weather. Even when I lived in California, like dry heat, it was so good. Like you barely need to touch up. Even if you've got an oily skin type, I feel like it's just, I don't know, I just can't say enough good things. And I know a lot of you guys use the Smashbox foundation as well, so please put down your experiences in the comments for anybody else that's interested in trying that out. And of course, what would a foundation recommendation be if I didn't include Fenty Beauty? I just love this foundation. It's literally like Facetune in a bottle. It's still one of my favorites, and I can't wait till my complexion matches this a little bit more so that I can just like look poppin' again. I mean, I always look poppin', but the Fenty Beauty foundation like takes it to a whole other level. This is the shade 420 for those of you guys that use me as a shade reference. Really good foundation. This next one here is the Bobbi Brown, it's got a whole long name, Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation SPF 15. I do have sensitive skin, and the SPF in this does not bother me whatsoever. This foundation looks flawless. I will say, okay, it's not exactly meant for humid weather, like at all. But I've worn this in like 95, I wanna say, degree weather in Montreal, very high humidity. And as long as you don't touch your face, and maybe you just take a beauty blender and like dab the sweat off, you know, when you're in some places a little bit cooler or in air conditioning or something, it will stay looking really, really nice. But that being said, if you don't have to wear it in humidity, don't. I'm just letting you know, if you end up in a situation, you're not gonna look like your face just like melted off. In fact, if I still have the picture, I'm gonna put a picture here of last year when I went on vacation and I wore this in that Montreal weather, and just so you can see, I did look like I was glowing, even though I was sweating. Wow, so this year for concealers, you know, previous years, I've talked about a lot of concealers, and I feel like Drugstore is taking over the concealer game right now, so I've only got two to recommend to you. First up is my ride or die, okay? This is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. The shade I use is Chestnuts. I mean, I've been on this one for a long time. I want to say I purchased it around July of last year. Still using it. It's still bomb. It's starting to get a little bit low. It makes me sad, but the VIB sale is a good time to repurchase. Yes, and the doe foot applicator is so big, so you can really like just go in quickly, you know, and the coverage is really good on it as well. I would say like medium to full, depending on how much you want to layer. And this next one, this is the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Long Wear Concealer. My shade is N9. This is a really good natural looking concealer with light to medium coverage. Now, I want to say I feel like it's comparable to the NARS Radiant Creamy, but you know, a little bit more coverage than that, because I find that the NARS one is not enough for me. Now, this one, like I said, it's just like when you're going for like a natural look, you don't want beat, but you want like natural beauty beat, you know? Now let's talk about setting powders. I feel like I am the setting powder queen. I probably got 7 to talk to you about right now. And I tried to like minimize them, but I've got different setting powders for different moods, different weather situations, you know, so I feel like I need to share all of them with you. First, I'm gonna start with the setting powders that I use around the perimeter of my face when I'm going to set all of my face. So I typically do it like this. I'll put a like lighter one in under my eyes or the center of my face, and then a darker one around the perimeter to kind of get that nice bronzy look for my complexion. So the first one is the Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Setting Powder. This is so good for all skin types. The thing that I love about this is it sets without looking super cakey, and when you open it up, this is what I love. It's got the little cap here to like keep all the powder in, because I don't know about you, but sometimes I'll be like wild with my setting powders, and you know, you just want to like be careful because sometimes it can just poof everywhere when you open it. So I really appreciate those that do have the caps on them. This particular shade is called Translucent Deep. Again, I use it around the perimeter of my face just to set the foundation, and it makes it look flawless without looking cakey or too matte. Now this next one is more of a higher end setting powder, and it's from Lancome. It's the Translucence Silky Loose Powder in the shade 500. It doesn't look like it, but it is very like deep. That's why I still keep it to the perimeter of my face, and it has like a pearlized finish. Not too like sheeny, but it just makes you look like you're glowing, so you can still have a matte look but still have that like soft like reflective sheen. I don't know how else to describe it because I don't have another setting powder that's similar to this, but I just love it for that setting without looking too cakey. And also, I really love the Fenty setting powder. This one is Nutmeg, and I use this to set around the perimeter of my face as well. Now, the Fenty setting powders are a lot more mattifying, so I'm anticipating for summer, this is like really, really good, especially if you've got oily skin. And I like to just kind of like tap it along. You can use the swirling motion if you want to, but I do like to push the powders deeper into the skin just so I feel like, you know, it's kind of like really setting that liquid or cream product. Now let's talk about translucent powders, and I actually mean ones that have a translucent finish, like no tint to it at all. This one is really surprising. I really love the Pretty Vulgar. This is the Matte About It Translucent Setting Powder. Really good for mattifying. My forehead can get really oily. I love just, I'll like take a brush or take, they give you a little puff, and I don't know what I did with it. It's somewhere, but they give you a little puff that comes along, and you can just, you see the little powder here? It doesn't leave a white cast, although I'm gonna say this, you don't need to go crazy. I don't bake with any of my powders, so I can't provide you any insight into that because like my skin is just not made for baking. But you can like take a puff, I'll show you, like this one, and then you just kind of like dip it in here and you use the press and roll technique like that. So that's really good. I like to use this again in my oily areas because it is a mattifying setting powder. So I don't put it under my eyes because for me that's a no-no. I'll start looking like crocodile under eyes like in no time. Now I also love the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. This is so good for setting without looking cakey, like especially if you have drier skin or a little bit more mature skin. This is such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful finish. Does not leave a white cast because, you know, it's never a cute look for us deeper skin ladies. It's just, we don't want that in our lives. Now the final category of setting powders, I know, bear with me. These are setting powders that I would use under my eyes that have a tint that is similar to my skin tone or some place that I would use to highlight. Now, the first one is from Laura Mercier, and this is something that I do have to say. This setting powder from Laura Mercier, they don't advise putting it under the eyes. Now, if you have really oily skin or your skin can take it, then why not keep using it? But I did that for a really long time, and then I was like, well, I don't really like this powder until I read how they actually intend you to use it. So they want you to use it all around these parts of the face and the forehead, but not under the eyes if you have drier under eyes. And they like you to use the press and roll technique. I used this last summer and it was so good for the humidity. So you just take it, you can, you know, do this kind of thing, press it in. You can use it to cut your contour, make it look sharper. And I like to put it like around my nose area just to like keep the oils at bay. Bomb for that. The next one that I actually do use under my eyes is the Fenty Pro Filter Setting Powder in the shade Honey. If you guys saw my review, I liked it, but I do have a couple things to let you know. This is a drier mattifying setting powder. So I would only suggest using this under the eyes in the warmer weather climate, just because, you know, like I said, it's super mattifying and you really just need just a dab, like not much, shaking the excess off your brush, and lightly, this is what I do. I take my setting powder brush, dip it in, you know, do my thing, tap off any excess, okay? And I learned this from a makeup artist. You take it and you press and roll, press and roll. So that's just a tip for you guys. You get a better like flawless finish with your powders that way, and that way you don't end up just like putting too much if you use a sponge or a dense brush or something like that. Now let's talk about bronzers. I have two that I've been loving a lot lately and I just can't get enough of them. I have the Fenty Mocha Mami and also the Hoola Toasted. So I'm just gonna put these up here so you guys can compare. The Fenty one in Mocha Mami is a lot warmer. Now this one is slightly less warm but also deeper. So I know it doesn't look like it'd be deeper in the pan. It's very, very misleading. But I do find like this one is warmer, and that's fine. Like that's what they're intended to do, right? Like warm up the skin. I'm just merely describing the differences in tone and how they look like on my skin. Now I'm ready to talk to you about highlight, which is one of my favorite things. I'm a highlight collector and I'm an eyeshadow palette collector. Those things I hoard. Okay, but I really had to like narrow it down and it was so hard. But I'm definitely gonna hit you with some that I feel like are like must-have highlights. Now, if you have not tried Artist Couture highlighters, please, please, please do yourself a favor. They have some gorgeous stuff, okay? The first ones I want to talk about are the ones that they did with Jackie Aina, okay? Le Peach and Le Bronze. Oh my god. I feel like Le Peach is perfect for me in my like winter, like, you know, when I'm a little bit lighter, a little bit less melanated, and Le Bronze is like beautiful for when I'm like this shade and then going into the summer / early fall. Oh my goodness. This is more of like a rose gold finish, and Le Peach is a like lighter golden, like champagne-y. That's what I want to say, champagne. So they're both beautiful in their own right. And this next one is Illuminati, and I know that in the container it looks like it's going to be super light and ashy, but it's not. It's just when the sun hits it, it's like, it's amazing. It's so gorgeous. So those are my 3 favorite ones. Honestly, I feel like I need to pick up some more shades because I know that they've added some more in the past like 6 months, and I'm addicted to theirs. I love their formula, and a little bit goes a long way. I've literally just been using the residual that's like in the cap whenever I open it. So yeah, you're gonna like have this for like years basically. The next one I really, really, really love is the Laura Mercier. This is their translucent loose glow powder in the shade medium deep. This is the most beautiful natural highlight. I will say you just need a little bit. They do sell a highlighting brush that goes along with it that makes it easier to apply, and literally you just need like a minute amount on your brush it on there, and it just looks so natural. Like it like makes you look sun-kissed. You see, this is why I love highlight. I could talk about highlight all day, so let me just keep it moving. So this one is like newer to my highlight collection, and it's like my baby. I use it for a lot of different things. So this is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's the Sunset Loose Highlighter, or sorry, Sunset Aura Loose Highlighter. Okay, look at this. If you're like ebony skin tone, oh my god, I can just imagine what that's gonna look like on you. It's gonna look amazing. But this is a beautiful highlight. I will say this is for those that are not afraid of highlighter, like you like a blinding highlight, because Anastasia Beverly Hills came here to bring it, okay? So it's gonna be there on your face, just letting you know. Also, if you haven't thought of it, this is a beautiful eyeshadow. You can do this with some like, you know, matte transition colors. You can add a little black to the outer corner to like smoke it out. You could do so much with it. Also, as an inner corner highlight, stunning, okay? So just putting it out there. Okay, so I want to talk to you about eye pigments. They're like my latest obsession, like the liquid eye pigments. Oh my god. Laura Mercier has some gorgeous ones. I'm gonna swatch them for you. Now I wanted to include all of these and swatch all of these just because obviously not everyone watching this is going to be of a deeper complexion, so I want to show all of you guys. So these are the swatches. Obviously some of these lighter shades I would use as a liquid inner corner highlight, and then, you know, you can add some glitter on top if you want, some highlighter, whatever, you can get creative. But this green serpentine color at the end, oh my god, it's called Night Sky, does things to me, okay? Like I live for these like sultry colors. Ugh. So yeah, I just like can't get enough of that. That's my favorite one for sure. Before I talk about more eye products, I kind of want to break this up with some brow products. I almost never talk about brow products anymore because I use like the same products on my brows. I have an older brow tutorial on my channel if you want to check that out. I use Benefit Cosmetics brow products. I'm pretty sure that these are on Sephora still. So, okay, what I use, the first thing is the Goof Proof Brow Pencil. I use this to outline my brows and fill in like from the bottom upward. And I also use the Precisely My Brow Pencil. All of these are in the shade 6, by the way, so the deepest one, to fill in my brows. There's something about Benefit brow products where I feel like they look the most natural, yet my brows look flawless. And then to set all of that, because my brow hairs are actually really curly, they like curl in all kinds of different directions, so I have to use a gel to set them. I use the 24-hour brow setter. I also use the Gimme Brow in the shade 6 as well. It just kind of like depends, and this is the one I've been reaching for lately, and this one is a clear gel. So let's move on to eyeshadow palettes, shall we? And man, like I told you guys, I love some eyeshadow palettes, but I really wanted to like slim it down to like 4 or 5 that I feel like are just like really good palettes that I think that everybody should have in their collection. The first one, I'm gonna hit you with a banger, okay? This is Mother, Pat McGrath, if you're unfamiliar. This is the Mothership 5 palette. To me, it's like her most everyday, like wearable palette. It doesn't scare me. Some of the other ones are a little bit too bold for me, but like, look at this, soft, sultry, golden. And then if you're wondering, like these right here are like really good toppers. Sorry, this one and this one, you can add a matte color and then add them on top for a little shimmer for some nighttime action. Oh, I mean, the possibilities are endless. The mattes are so creamy, they blend so well, they look really good on deep skin tone too. Can't say enough good things, but you know, she ain't cheap. That's why you gotta use that VIB, like 20%, 10%, 15%, whatever percent you can get off, okay? Then we're gonna move on to the Urban Decay. This is the Naked Cherry palette. I love this palette. You know, this is a palette that like converted me because I used to not like pink tones on my eyes. I know, I just felt like it was too girly, but I love this palette and never looks like much when I show it on camera, but it looks beautiful. And I know a lot of you guys aren't a big fan of the Naked line, but I feel like this is like one of the prettiest palettes for like, you know, for women of color and just daytime wear. Oh, it looks amazing. So now I want to go into another like unexpected favorite. This is the Fenty Moroccan Spice palette. I know a lot of people like didn't have good things to say. I must be like the only one that really loved the palette because it works for me. I use it with the Fenty brushes, with the Fenty primer, and I don't have any problems. The color is great. I use it with a wet brush for the shimmers and they look gorgeous. They just, every time I put them on my eyes, I always get compliments, so I have nothing but good things to say about this palette. Now, I know I just did an everyday eyeshadow palettes like recommendations video, but I could not include this one. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette. I feel like this is so bomb for anybody who loves soft glam, you know, daytime colors, and also transitions to a wearable nighttime color, especially for those of you guys that don't do like super heavy makeup. This is like really beginner friendly, intermediate friendly as well. It just always looks so nice. You know, you can't go wrong. Now I have one of my favorite eyeliners that I want to share with you guys, okay? They are the Urban Decay 24-Hour Eye Glide On Pencils. Like, look, this is how many. This is how many I have because I love them all, okay? I have so many different colors. For me, a lot of eye pencils will smear, they just won't look good carrying on later into the day, but these go on super creamy. They set really, really well. You can go ahead on top of it with a powder shade if you want to like get that nice smoked out, or you can just use a smudge brush and smoke it and then it just sets itself. But you're not gonna have like those like raccoon eyes that, you know, like if you use a black shade, that can happen sometimes because I'm not about that look. But these are like the best eye pencils. And you know, my eye area is super delicate, so I hate going in with things that are like dry, and these are just they're always creamy. Now, if you're still here, you are the real MVP. Thank you for chilling with me after I just chattered for like forever. God knows how long this video has been. But I hope you guys got some really useful recommendations. Don't forget to check out some of my recommendations from last year because it's got some good information there. So check those videos out. As always, I love you guys. Thanks so much for kicking it with me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!